and Andrew against Chad and Jeff.
Perfect.
Okay. Could be a good match. I'm going to try to keep the eating off stream if I can. But
Wait, I'm going to stop screen sharing for 1 second. I need to.
So it looks like some interesting matches in the
to the
referee
login.
going on also.
definitely. Are we live?
We are live, but I messed up some screen sharing stuff, so I need 1 second
That sounds good.
to broadcast to this start stream. Okay, we're good. So sorry, which table did you want to see?
Why don't we go with the Joan Millens and VUGRAPH to start out? We can switch over if something good's happening. Is that okay with you, Adam?
Yep, that works good.
Okay, we're going open room.
Okay, are we live?
Yeah.
Well, good morning, everyone. I'm Mike Passell, here with Adam Kaplan, and we're here to bring you the finals of the mixed team A. And I think we're lucky enough to get the two most powerful teams that were, I think, the pre-tournament favorites playing one another. What do you think, Adam?
Yeah, I mean, but both teams certainly did well in the round robin, and have shown themselves to be quite good here, and should be a good couple days of bridge. So
we have an interesting first hand. So it looks like it's difficult to bid with 6 clubs, but maybe they are going to get there now because it started a heart and no trump, 3 clubs.
Yeah, I mean, that's certainly the best start for their side. I would think that West hearing partner make a jump shift. The only worry that West might have is maybe partners faking a jump shift and only has 3 clubs and has some hand with 7 or 8 hearts that just needed to have a forcing noise, right? And so I would be a little bit worried about driving in clubs, but I would imagine at some point they'll get to bid something like 5 no pick a slam and hopefully land on their feet in clubs.
Okay.
Or just bid 6 clubs right away.
Yeah. Well, all I can say is I don't think this pair is bidding 5 no pick a slam at any chance. So.
That's fair. But no, I mean, I
6 clubs is actually it's making, even if they're off the ace king of spades, it's making a blind lead. So yes. I think, and if you notice, the club spots make this really a great slot. That 9 of clubs is the key card because now you can safely rough diamonds with the spots and easily handle the 4-2. So there's not going to be anything to play. And
yes, well, and the spade lead sort of even makes it a little simpler in the sense that it takes away the pitch and so on. So
yeah, with everything coming in nicely, they can set up either hand to be successful. So
exactly.
But it's a nice start to bid a slam on the first hand. It's gold.
Certainly.
I'm guessing he wasn't too worried that his partner was jump shifting, false jump shift in their partnership either.
Right. No, I mean, that's something that I guess each partnership kind of does more or less frequently, and has more or less expectations about, I guess.
Yes, well put.
Yes,
you're much daintier than I am, so I like that. we need some daininess in our partnership.
Fair. No, I try to dance around the point a little bit.
Okay, so we have knocking out the club, and we're going to get a spade return, and it's about time now not to draw trump, to set up one of the suits. Because I can't imagine Andrew doing anything, returning anything other than a spade at this point. Andrew's had an unbelievable amount of success lately. He's one of the nicest guys and the most improved bridge players. They've had a remarkable success. He has put together a great team.
Absolutely. No, yeah. Andrew's just a super nice guy, and then of course,
Yeah.
he's done a lot of really great things
Okay.
as well. So
She's led a club to the dummy. So now, as long as she doesn't play a third round of clubs, she'll be okay. She still can set up either suit, either hand, but it's getting a little hairier.
right, I mean, she certainly wants to be able to have the flexibility to rough two diamonds.
Yeah, I think that. Yeah, she still has the club. And if you notice, now we're down.
Yeah. So now in theory, she could fall back on queen third of hearts, but that
Or three diamonds.
or 3 diamonds, but it's still, I think, far better to play for taking the roughs earlier rather than worrying about drawing trumps.
Yeah, they have no problem at all.
Right. You're as Mike said, your club spots are good enough to where you can actually survive. Even if South is the one with the doubles and diamond, you can survive roughing higher.
Yes.
And sort of and establishing the diamonds as long as they're 4-2.
And once clubs were 3-1 this way, she didn't risk an over rough, an uppercut in the dummy either. So, well, I predict my West player is going to get much friskier now after seeing this hand.
Yeah, I mean, oh, and she pitched a diamond on the heart. Oh boy, that was unfortunately sort of a concession there. Perhaps.
I think she meant to rough it.
Right. It looks like she meant to rough it, seeing as Andrew, who's her screen mate, called the director. So it's very likely that's the case. Although today it won't actually matter because regardless of whether or not she roughs it.
Yeah, she's going to be down now, whatever she did. So there's probably a little bit of nerves involved being in the finals of the event. So we have to cut a little slack here for sure. And we have to always remember that she's here and we're not. So trying not to be overly critical. And I'm sure there's
I was there and then I earned the right to be here. So
I've done that a few times, Adam. Don't feel like you're a lone soldier.
Thank you.
That's why I was doing some narrating on the open trials.
Right, exactly.
I came home a little earlier than I had hoped to, but
yeah, always a little unfortunate, but fun to be able to get on and do a bit of commentating. So we see the other room here stopped in 4 hearts, which is certainly a far less good contract in the sense that it even runs the risk of going down sometimes when 6 clubs was making.
Okay, well, so they must have, they made 5 hearts. So I'm guessing they must have gotten a trump lead from the 10-3. That's the only.
Well, you can smother the 10-3, right? You just play ace.
Oh, I see. Right. Yes.
And
yeah.
Then you just lose 2 tricks.
Yeah, that's all true.
But you can imagine a world where there's.
So how did the bidding go at the other table to get the 4 hearts?
It looks like they. Yeah, so a heart, a spade, 2 diamonds, 3 hearts showing a mixed raise, 3 spades. So this is sort of, it's a very difficult auction because once the opponents start getting involved, you almost lose the club suit.
Well, the bidding went a heart, a spade, 2 diamonds, 3 hearts mixed. I have to say that sort of like 4 clubs with the king, queen.
I think I do too, simply because 3 spades is such an ambiguous bid. But
yeah, normally 3 spades show some kind of diamond fit, I would think, but they
right. Usually 3 spades would be either a diamond fit or some huge hand with hearts or something like that.
So this is sort of typical of why bridge is such a fantastic game. The East-West pair at this table think they've had a tragedy because they've missed a fairly simple 6 clubs. And at the other table, they went down in 6 clubs. So it's one of the beauties of our game.
Certainly. I mean, the East-West here will be certainly pleasantly surprised to find out that they won 11 instead of lost 11. But yeah, on after the start, unless East does opt to bid 4 clubs, you can kind of sympathize with them landing in 4 hearts. That it's very possible that neither of them really were able to get their club suit in comfortably. And while I do think I would bid 4 clubs, perhaps with either hand even, it's understandable to when your opponents are bidding and preempting it does put pressure.
It does. Yeah, the one spade overcall by Kevin really created some havoc.
Right. I would say I'd be confident that as a partnership and as players, the East and West certainly, Amber and Chris certainly would have found 6 clubs if left to their own devices.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a very similar situation that occurred a couple of days ago in a match when a really world-class declarer early in the match who I think hadn't settled in, sort of mistimed a vulnerable game and went down, and looked like it was going to be a sheer 12-imp loss, but an experienced, terrific pair at the other table had a bidding misunderstanding and got to a slam and a 6-0 fit. So instead of losing 12, they ended up winning 7 on the board. So it's the beauty of the game, as we said.
Definitely.
Okay, so we'll get back to the real life now. And so another interesting hand. So the 6-5 went a heart, 3 clubs, 3 diamonds. This can't be right, is it? 4 clubs, all pass?
No, just pass back.
Oh, pass. Okay.
So
I expect Andrew to reopen with a double.
Not too thrilled about how this
all 4 hearts. Okay.
But she can be pretty confident that partner probably doesn't have 4 spades. And with a relatively minimum-ish hand, she didn't feel like she, I guess, wanted to get, she didn't want to rebid 4 hearts. She didn't really have any, 4 spades sounds not all that natural in this.
Yeah, the opponents put a lot of pressure on. They did extremely well in this hand.
Yeah,
Andrew had a hand.
Clubs from Sean. Yes, his partner's a passed hand, and so he gets a little bit of leeway there. And even with only 5, here it's certainly very successful.
So 4 hearts seems like the North hand might have reopened with a double over 4 clubs instead of bidding 4 hearts on the queen and 1. But it could work because it's a very lucky slam. The ace jack of hearts comes in. They're bidding black, but I think they're going to get the 6 hearts now. 6 spades looks like a very good contract. 6 hearts is going to be cold also.
Well, in 6 hearts, you could theoretically choose to play West for the jack of hearts, but with West having preempted, you probably will just sort of fall into the right line here. So
and you have the entries to pick up both suits. It's going to go club lead, heart to the queen and a club, and now they can play the king of diamonds, overtake it with the ace of the heart. Now they'll be able to.
So again, here West can simply lead their singleton, right? And
yes, and they will. You're right.
And in fact, they probably should, because
they will for sure. It's 100%. You're 100% right, Adam.
Yeah, like their opponents bid slam, having heard them bid clubs a bunch of times, and West doesn't even have the ace of clubs to where maybe they would think that they need to cash a quick club trick.
Yeah, and the spade lead so automatic as it works if partner has either ace, the ace of spades or the ace of hearts.
Exactly. And
you'll notice over a heart that he chose 3 clubs on a 5-card suit also. A king, queen, jack, 5th. And I think that bid had a lot to do with the first hand, but he didn't lead a singleton. So
well, that will be a fairly sizable swing then.
Yes,
certainly. I personally, I think I would look to lead a stiff spade here.
I would also. But I think he's thinking that he only had 5 clubs once again. So
Right. Like, it is possible that the opponents have bid this way, each expecting their partner to have shortness in the suit, and because let's say he's bid on 5 and his partner's raised on 3, let's say, they may have way more clubs than ever were expected.
Yeah, so Migri's going to make this. I expect her to play the king of diamonds, overtake it with the ace, and hard jack's going to show up, and now she's going to make it.
Right now, then she cashes. Yeah, I guess there's no reason to playing a spade now versus a diamond up.
Yeah, I think I like the other way to get the dummy, but
right. Well, it's just you have 8 cards in one of the suits and
6
in the other, so it's far less likely that when you lead one, somebody's going to be roughing by surprise.
Yeah.
And especially when you have this surprise 5-card suit. So here she'll unblock the 10 of spades from the dummy to make sure that she can finesse and have transportation back and forth. Now, having gotten the bad news, she can overtake the king of diamonds and take a spade finesse.
So in theory, he did very well bidding 3 clubs, which I think was caused by the result of the previous board, because I think it left their own devices, they would have gotten 6 spades. So what was the contract at the other table, or have we?
So they played in 5 hearts and made only 5.
So let's see the bidding at this table. A heart, they overcalled 2 clubs, 2 diamonds, 4 clubs, 4 spades.
Yes. So again, the opponent
4 spades. I want now what 5 clubs. 4 spades. I'm wondering.
5 clubs looks to me like a bloomer bid. One of the it's a rarity, but
Because the 5, so what was 5 clubs exactly?
I mean, it looks like it's a bloomer of some sort, right? Hey,
what was 5 clubs then?
there wasn't any alert on it, so
5 now. South bid 5 diamonds. And what's there's something that says unclear. I wonder if they thought 4 spades was key card and diamonds. 4 no trouble. Yeah, I think that's what happened. I think they interpreted 4 spades as key card and diamonds and answered 2, which they had, and they interpreted 5 diamonds as asking for the queen. No, I have no idea what's going on. It's purely guessing.
right, exactly. Like to me, this actually it does feel like it was some sort of either key card or at least taken as a qubit of some sort. In which case, if it is taken as a qubit, then you could see a world where 5 clubs by North is sort of almost like an anti-qubit, right? Hey, I know you have shortness in this suit. I have nothing wasted here almost.
No, that's too deep for me.
I mean, I guess it normally would be for me as well, but in this sort of auction,
But then if it was all ambiguous, I think South was sort of lucky 5 diamonds to get past. So
that's true, actually.
do they play 14-30 to black? Yeah, this is hard to imagine. Anyway, let's go back to our featured table. And it's 24-0 after 2 boards. And so we have like a normal no trump 2 hearts. If you'll notice, as I said, we're going to have some excitement. He chose to open 1 no with 14 and a single to the heart.
Certainly wouldn't be my choice, but I understand. Certainly,
he's one of the.
This is one of those that one of those situations where after you open a no trump and partner transfers to spades, you first breathe a sigh of relief that they didn't transfer to hearts, and then your hand has actually gotten substantially better to the point where had you opened one of a minor and her partner bid a spade, you would have.
I wonder if Andrew's gonna. There's no chance he was flying with the ace of hearts because they opened the no trump. He had no idea that was going away.
Right. Exactly. But because of this evaluation that they are playing in only 3 spades. The other table actually is playing in 4 on the same hand, where North got to overcall a heart, South got to jump raise to 4 hearts, pushing them into 4 spades. So
Yeah.
you know,
And
and we will see how that fares.
looks like he's gonna make 4 now. Well,
Right. He did not have well, he did not have 3 losers before, but once Andrew understandably ducked the ace of hearts, that enabled him to rough out 2 hearts.
Yeah, Chan's
Come to
brilliant. He's a brilliant player. He does a lot of maneuvering, as we pointed out before the match started, but after a disaster on the 1, he showed it on board 2, and after another disaster on 2, it's going to be really exciting from here on out.
So let's see. So at this point, Andrew,
He's going to lose 2 diamond tricks from here on out because the club finesse is onside.
yeah, and they just need to avoid touching diamonds, right?
Well, Andrew was much better off playing a heart because maybe he wouldn't have been able to afford another club finesse.
That's actually not true, I don't think, because
Oh, I see. You're right. Yeah, you're correct. The club was the best play. You're absolutely correct.
Yeah, because this sort of relieves a lot of pressure off of South.
It does,
by cutting the entry back to Declare's hand. Not only that,
here's a case though. I think that she needed to cover the 6 of clubs with the 8 to put him in his hand. Because now being a dummy, he could start diamonds by leading the jack, perhaps.
Well, even more so here, North still has a trump, right? So if Shed overtakes with the jack of clubs to play the ace, North is to be able to rough that away.
Yeah.
And now he's actually going to have to guess what's going on in the diamond suit. They may wind up in fact holding him to 3.
Yeah, I agree. But also they might have covered the 6 of clubs with the 8 to put him in his hand. Because now he could lead the 6, draw the trump, and lead the jack of diamonds also. Possible play.
Yes, that is true.
So the other table, they were in 4 down 1, or did they go down even? So the other table had a club, a heart, a spade, 4 hearts, 4 spades. I see. Yeah, it looks like they're going down. I'll say, but
yeah, it seems that way because
yeah, they love the ace of hearts. So
the player is going to have to break diamonds.
Yeah, they're going to need the ace of hearts on side, which is it. So
right. Well, once Declarer has to break diamonds, they just have 2 diamond losers.
yeah. The other table are trying to avoid 3 diamond. Okay, we can go back. So did he make? Let's see. So we have to see if how he proceeded when he won the club. I'm guessing he played a spade and played the jack of diamonds and made 170. Is my guess, but he overtook the club himself. I see. Okay, so he made 140.
No,
he still played the jack of diamonds.
Right, he got diamonds right.
The jack seems like a natural play for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so East West is on the scoreboard. It's really interesting. The hand that opened and no trump didn't get the game, and the hand that didn't open and no trump did get the game. So
Yeah, well, I think, the thing that swings it here, or that makes you potentially want to be in game, is because your singleton is so much more valuable playing in a suit contract, and even having open and no trump and super accepted, that kind of fails to get across just how good that singleton is.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, here we have an interesting hand when the one club opener, the takeout double with 10 on the normal takeout double.
Mhm.
And looks like Joan passed with ace king nine fourth of clubs, and won a no trump by Beagry, and then ended the auctions.
And one could be forgiven for seeing that either side could play a no trump on this hand.
Yes, very true.
May have opted to bid a no trump directly over the double. With an 8 count. She didn't really want to raise clubs because since their club is only 2+, they may actually not have a club fit at all. So if she's going to make a bid, it would probably be one no, if anything. But here the play in one no should be rather interesting, as
I think
has a lot of work to do.
Decided to go after spades and not diamonds, but it looks to me like they're probably going down one, even with this favorable spade.
Yeah, the favorable spade layout will get them up to 6 tricks.
Yeah,
And they are going to have to fight pretty hard to get a 7.
Yeah, with the club suit. Beagry has, if you notice, has a straight flush of clubs, so maybe she gets something extra for that.
Right. Well, I mean, honestly, the challenge here is simply, can you find a 7th trick somewhere before the opponents get to 7? Right. They only have, they can rattle off, the ace of spades, 4 clubs, and 2 diamonds. That's 7 winners right there. So, declarer really needs a misdefense or some other sort of mishap. To be able to get up to 7.
Yeah, he has no idea his partner is the ace king of clubs. So
right. Well, and it certainly looks like South probably has a club on her from.
He's letting clubs himself, which is good. That was a very good play by Beagry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, now it looks to me like they're going to break diamonds now.
Right. Or at least they're going to be reluctant to sort of play back the suit that declarer is trying to play and ostensibly establish themselves. Right. This is actually a decently common theme, I think, in one no type contracts, where sometimes by pretending to attack your weak suit.
Here we go.
You in fact induce the opponents to attack some of your strong suits for you, and build tricks for you. And so this may be actually very well rewarded here, depending on, I mean, Sean could probably see partner shifted to the 8 of diamonds. That doesn't look like they have a diamond on her.
No, I think he's going to play the jack of spades now.
That would make sense, because whoever has the 9 of spades, that'll be establishing a trick for himself. But he'll need to work out, once he's back in again with the ace of diamonds, that partner in fact does have the ace of clubs and play the queen of clubs and 10 of clubs. But there's a real risk on that partner may also pitch a club on one of the long major cards, right? Which they may not realize is pitching a winner.
Well, they could actually afford to pitch a club because they still take 2 spades and 3 clubs and 2 diamonds.
Yes, that is true.
As long as they don't pitch 2 clubs.
Right. Which, I mean, if you spend the entire hand thinking that declarer has the queen of clubs instead of partner, you might think that you need to, even though I don't think that can be.
No, because they'll be able to count that declarer has 9 tricks if they have the 7 tricks.
Right.
2 spades, 4 heart. So he did play the jack of spades. And make real picture 9 of hearts, that one, they'll run the hearts. Or a club.
Right. And I
Okay,
guess
the last heart, she can pitch anything except the ace of clubs, survive. She can actually even pitch the ace of clubs and survive.
it's true. Well, Sean will know, again, having seen his partner shift to the 8 of diamonds, can be reasonably sure that declarer is the one with the king of diamonds.
Okay, if
Therefore,
Vigri now was to lead the 7 of spades off the dummy, you would give her a chance to pitch a club, but it's, well, that wouldn't even matter. They had the ace of diamonds and the spade, so.
right, exactly. At this point, the defense just has 7 winners.
Yeah.
And you know, it's going. I mean, I guess the only danger here is that when Sean wins the ace of diamonds and cashes a spade, that Joan chooses to pitch a club rather than the diamond.
Yeah, but she's seen that she knows declare as the king of diamonds now. So
right. Well, so, and Sean can, you know, again, he knows declare as the king of diamonds, which means they don't have the ace of clubs. And therefore, he can cash the queen of clubs to sort of make
the 10 of clubs is a much better. The 10 of
exactly.
clubs is a much better play.
Exactly, to and sort of help partner and make sure that partner doesn't you know, make a mistake here, because he knows all of the cards at this point based on, you know, the high cards and signaling. And
oh my gosh, he couldn't avoid. He did everything he could to avoid that.
Yes, and the 10 of clubs is a thoughtful play because in theory it sort of helps partner you know, be able to win the ace. And
so that board was a push.
Wow. Okay. Surprises every day. Okay.
Yeah.
So they will push the board at 90, which is quite something. And this board here, we see a fairly nice opener of 1 spade. Personally, I think the East hand is a little too weak for a takeout double. You look at it, if you moved your queen of spades into one of the other suits, then you might consider it. But
I actually don't mind it not ball against ball at all.
I don't hate it by any means.
No.
But I would feel a little bad doing it, versus if my queen of spades was in one of the other suits, I would feel pretty good about it. And
Well, notice it's a matter of how much we're going to be bidding over here. With a spade double, she chose to pass. He bid a natural 2-no with 3 little spades. So we're not disappointing. We projected that, and things are going extremely poorly for him so far. So it's going to be even wilder. Well, it's going to be an easy pass for Jones. So they're going to run quite a few spades, it looks like. So they played 2 spades, making 3 for 140. And how many is 2-no is going to go down?
Or south, they're going to make 2-no, so that'll be down 3 for 150 and a push.
Or another push.
Yeah.
2 for 140 was a fantastic result, with the opponents being on for either binder. Yeah, notice we only have
right. Well, I think what happened is that
if they would have to guess the clubs, right? Seems like they would guess the clubs because the auction they show up with a lot of spades.
Right. Well, I think what happened is that when once East chose to pass in the other room, you know, West has got a pretty marginal overcall themselves with 3 little spades.
Yeah, probably a spade of no trump.
I think they got shut out. I think it was a spade and no trump, 2 spades, all done. Right. Yes, indeed it was. It was spade pass and no trump pass, 2 spades, all pass.
So what would you think of what 2 spades pass with you and the West hand, Adam? With 3 little spades, would you reopen with 2-no for the minors?
I would be very tempted to, especially if favorable. I think, you know, You can imagine hands where partner just has 5 or 6 hearts in a weak hand, though, where you really are, you don't really have much of a fit, and so on. But I think you do have to rely on partner to be able to bid their hand as well, and just at favorable, it feels like we really do want to compete.
Yeah,
So.
I think I have more scars than you do, Adam, since I'm a lot older, but vulnerability doesn't matter all that much to me because 110 against 110 is the same 6 imps and all vulnerabilities. And,
Yeah, so it matters more when you're wrong, right?
Yeah.
And in that sense, equal red is actually more harmful to be bidding, or the worst spot.
Yeah. Well, except the 3 little spades lets you know there's no trump stack. So
Right. Well, so I do think it's an interesting point, though, that in general, competing for the part score on these deals is actually sort of best at equal white, because even if you're going down or they're going down, that's only happening at 50 a trick, and often worse at equal red, where if either of you are wrong, it's again 100 a trick, versus these favorable or unfavorable. When you're not sure whose hand it is, it may actually that's sort of the middle ground there. And so here we see that of course Trudeau is not doing well, but East West certainly could have made some reasonable number of clubs, I think 3 or 4 depending on how they guess the club suit, and and just getting shut out can very easily lead to a loss.
Yeah.
Oh boy, we have some fireworks on the next board in the other room. We will get to watch it.
Okay, so it's got 1 club. Yeah, so
Kevin
let's see
Joseph.
what happened at the other room. East opened a club. And he bid 4 diamonds. If you notice that the vulnerability is 1 count, but he went double 5 diamonds. 5 hearts past 6 no double.
Yeah. So I interestingly, they actually I think they can make 6 clubs double dummy, because hearts go 6-0. So you can actually eliminate Norse entries here, because clubs are 2-2 and spades are as such. You can actually lead ace of diamonds, queen of diamonds off the dummy, forcing North to cover. And then on the last diamond, you pitch a heart and end play south. So you can actually make 6 clubs double dummy, which is kind of cool. But of course,
that was a very sound up. That was a very, very sound double of 6 no, by the way.
Yes. Well, hey, at least the important part is that they were on lead. If they weren't on lead, it would have actually been a problem. But here we see East chose to pass this 10 count, and Migri also chose to pass, which is I actually don't think I would have passed with either of those 2 hands. But that brings us to
one up.
Yes. So I anticipate that they will have a hard time replicating the result in the other room, but
so this is why you have teammates. The East-West pair in this room is doing, I would say, pretty terrible, and it looks like they're probably going to be ahead of the match after this hand.
Yeah.
Their teammates are having their way, so to speak. Okay, so let's take a look at this bidding. It's got a no trump 2 diamonds showing 1 major. Okay, I love it. A lot of people this is a very interesting, since multi-landing is very popular now. A lot of experts are playing over that. That double is a transfer to hearts, and two hearts is a transfer to spades, and that three clubs becomes old-fashioned puppet staving. So here, once again, they're going to be playing 3-0 off 6 heart tricks, which looks like, 5 clubs looks very easy from the other side. Looks like another terrible result for East-West, but they're going to win 14 imps.
Yeah, that certainly talk about coverage from your teammates. But yeah, the play in 6 clubs is actually very cool.
It really is. You found that. That's very sharp of you. Yeah, that was.
Yeah, no, well, the diamond spots are such that you can sort of ensure it, but whether or not you'd ever find that at the table, you may in fact just sort of fall into it a little bit.
Yes, I agree with you.
But
I
guess you just have to guess whether North has the I don't know. You kind of leave the queen of diamonds off the dummy after catching.
Well, they're probably,
you just have to guess.
you're playing 6 clubs from the other side with a jack of diamonds lead, so it seems normal to take the finesse of trick 1, and then you fall into your you've set out.
Exactly. Like
You're talking about hands like this. This is sort of a nothing. I have a cute story to tell you. I played the Las Vegas Regional last year, and I played with Daniel, who's really a great player, and our teammate was Eddie Wold, and they bid to a grand slam after they had bid unusual no trump, and he found out the unusual no trumper had a void in the suit they played the grand in, and he was missing 4 hearts to the queen, and he had to guess it to make it. So he didn't play them for void in a singleton, and he went down in 7. So my question to you is, how many imp swing does that make between him making 7 and going down 1 and 7? And I'm gonna put you out of your misery. It was a 3 imp swing, because at the other table, Daniel and I bet the 7 diamonds doubled the other direction. They led the wrong major, so we made it. So,
that's a pretty spectacular result.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, Eddie had his head down and said minus 100 when Daniel said win 18. Okay, now back to the bridge. 1 club, normal 1 club opener, normal 1 spade over call.
Yeah,
nice solid one.
Right. You almost have enough where you'd be tempted to double and bid, but I think with the quality of the spade suit and just kind of a little bit softer 16, I think 1 spade is normal, and nobody else has anything to say over it.
It's even more normal, for him. Yeah, no one had anything to bid, and
right. Well, I think the modern style as well is to that the double and bid is often much sounder, and that you are sometimes overcalling on even more hands than you once would have, simply because the auction stays alive a lot more.
Yeah. So here's a hand.
Hey, nobody has any.
Here's a hand, even with the diamond offside and the club offside, it still is an easy 4 hard hand.
Yeah. Which I guess maybe is a an argument, at least on this hand, in favor of choosing to double and bid, but because when you hear partner bid hearts, now you actually just switch gears to raising hearts rather than bidding your ratty spade suit, which maybe that is actually a consideration here, right? That you kind of
actually did get the 4 hearts at the other table, so made it. So this is a exciting bridge. I'm so happy to be able to watch all of this.
Yes. So the other table, in fact, they got to 4 hearts because Amber as East bid a no trump over a spade, which is a little ambitious, but was rewarded. handsomely today, of course, when partner has this very strong spade overcall. But I think I lean towards believing that double with the West hand is a far better choice, simply because you sort of do get this two-way shot versus forcing East to have to bid in order to get to a game like this.
Yeah, I agree with that also. It depends on what your partnership is here.
Mhm.
Amber definitely made the winning bid, but she may be out there a bit also. They played 6 no double and missed a slam. So
Yeah. Well, and
people, you have to realize this is, very early in the first set of a 120 board match. There are a lot of swings involved.
right. Now, I mean, even a lead of 40 or 50 after the first day can quickly evaporate.
Or more. Yeah.
Right, or a lot more than that. 100. I think that was one of the matches earlier in the Open. And yeah, I mean, it's definitely.
Okay, so Andrew now is end played, so has to lead a diamond.
Yes. And declares spade spots, I guess, were good enough for him to only lose 2 spades there. So here we see, I guess, another slightly off shape one. No, this one.
Yeah, this one at least is singleton's a king.
Right, exactly. Well,
Okay, now we're going to see whether, I think Joan tends to go low opposite his no trumps. We'll see if we don't really like to raise with 2 aces. It's certainly possible. Will Beagry, I think Beagry's going to balance on his hand.
Yeah, I mean, again, here equal white is certainly the best time to be getting in there. 1 and 2. When you pass, you can be pretty sure that partner's not going to. That if partner leads a spade, you probably should have been competing.
Okay,
leads anything else.
Queen of clubs. So I anticipate him winning the first club and trying to sneak a diamond through.
Yes.
Queen of clubs is a Rousseau.
Mm-hmm.
So can they untangle everything?
Well, it all comes down to whether or not he can work out to shift to a spade.
Well, it seems like with 3 little spades, when he wins a diamond, he's going to play the king of clubs to get the 10. And, with the ace third of hearts in the W, it looks like a spade. He's leading the 9 of spades off the W.
Rather than sneaking a spade trick through, let's try to sneak rather than sneaking
as long as she hops, this is going to make it really easy. I like the sneaking the diamond through much better.
Me too. Because honestly, sometimes when you sneak a diamond, even if they get it right, they may not work out that they need to cash all of these spades. Now here,
now it's easy.
Beagry knows exactly what's going on.
She might have cashed the 10 of clubs before she played the spade, though.
Yes. I guess maybe she was a little concerned that Declarer had the jack of clubs.
Looking at the 9/4 of the dummy, that would be a really unusual.
It would be, but I guess I.
Oh, I see what. No, but now she can overtake the spade and cash the club safely now.
Right.
I guess she has no hurry on. Yeah, there's no hurry on that. She'll be able to cash the club and play a diamond over. I think we'll see Andrew discard this discouraging heart now. Yeah, I'm sure he's gonna. Well, board 8, and we've already seen 60 imp scored. Yeah, I definitely like the a little better. I don't think there's anyone too bored out there right now. Are you bored
Uh,
out of it?
No, there's been a couple flat, there's been 2 flat boards and then a bunch
Well,
of,
the two flat boards were, even the flat boards, the one was definitely exciting, the one no. Or
yes.
a few
Yes.
of was the one no 90 a push for down something minus 100 the other way, or was it 90
No,
in
they
one row?
also made one no as south in the other row.
I see.
They also, I guess, let it through. Didn't figure out to cash their 7 winners.
Okay.
No, I think I think what happened is that they led the jack of spades, which was not
Oh.
a successful lead. And
Race jack empty fourth, race jack.
yeah, ace jack 8 fourth. So they led the jack of
Wow.
spades and then later on
Yeah.
cashed the ace of diamonds as well. So it was not too pretty over there.
Wow.
No.
No.
But yeah, so here we saw I guess 3 imps to Rosendahl for the 1 no down 3 when the other table played in 4 hearts, and that finished down 1.
Okay, so we have
Personally, I would treat
here's a hand.
I would treat
Here's
these.
a hand. I think almost anyone would open 2 no with 19 and a 6-card suit. It seems like a pretty normal bid, but
Yeah, I mean, I think that the hand evaluates probably much closer to a good 21 even.
yes, I
Hearts
agree with
maybe
you.
a small demerit,
Degrees overcall a heart. Yeah.
but you know, I mean, if you
Yeah.
open 2 no, you'll probably you know, you'll have a hard time not getting to the 6th level with partner having this, you know, excellent 12 count opposite.
Well,
They'll
the
probably
heart
bet
overcalls
Stamen
go
and they'll bet
right
Stamen and
through
4 clubs and you'll be like, holy crap.
If Andrew raises hearts now, it's going to be a lot harder for them to get the slam, for sure.
Yeah, well, I mean, this auction, like, right, if had Andrew raised,
The other table, the east-west pair stroke got the 5 clubs. How'd that auction?
South
This
preempted
is really
2.
an interesting thing where, okay, so the bidding of this table, club 2 hearts double, 4 hearts double, 5 club. Yeah, both east and west pairs are struggling mightily in this match, looks like.
Yeah, no, I mean, I have to say I'm very surprised that Amber didn't choose to treat that as a 2 no opener.
Me too.
You know, you even have some positional values where you really want to play the no trump from your side.
1,000, couldn't agree more. It's really funny. The queen and 1 to me are the most positional more than anything. You always play from your side, no matter what partner has.
Yeah, exactly.
King, ace, whatever it is. The queen and really important. Always be grabbing the no trump. If you're off the whole suit, you are whichever suit side you play it from. But when you're not off the whole suit, you want to play it from the queen and 1 side. There are obviously once in a while partner all have ace and 1, they get to lead through the ace, but that becomes random also because they could be leading through the queen. So that's the queen and 1 is really important one to grab. So let's see how the auction's going to go here. Okay. Wow.
They do seem to have
Look
got
at-
there. I mean, Joan probably is a bit heavy for her 3 club bid even.
Yeah.
But you know, no matter here, you know, that just makes West's hand so incredibly strong. And rather than bidding key card,
Yeah, she had a big,
telling them
she had
which
an easy
to
2
lead.
no rebid. Actually, would you rebid 2 no? Or club a heart,
I mean,
spade pack?
I think the only reason not to open it 2 no originally is because you really are going to prioritize the club suit.
Yeah.
If you treat this as 18-19 balanced, I think that's a greater failure of evaluation than choosing to treat it as a strong club hand. In the sense that
That case,
I would
in that case, over a
opening 2
club, a
clubs.
heart, a spade, you probably bid 3 no. Is that right?
I
To show
mean,
the clubs.
If you made me fill in for somebody
Yeah.
who had opened a club and suddenly had to run to the restroom or had an emergency, then yes, I think I
Yeah.
would probably bid 3 next. But
That,
you know,
that's extremely well, Adam, that's extremely well put and dainty. I like this.
Thank you. Yes, and I mean, you know, here declare, especially on this low spade lead, you know, they could theoretically stick in the 9. Understandably, they're playing for North to have one of the Jack or 10 instead
You're
of
right.
the
Yeah,
8.
they percentage play, as you said.
And right, which is certainly percentage, and so you know they just
Right.
have 12 winners. They'll eventually have to lose a slow diamond trick once spades don't come in for a pitch. So
Well, Adam, the way you pussyfoot around some of the things, if I didn't know you better, I think you were either a lawyer or a couples counselor.
I am as Dana put it, not yet a lawyer. I am not. I'm also not studying to be a lawyer, but her framing was not yet, and so I'll run with that. But yes, so the play in 6 clubs is not particularly interesting. The bidding to get there perhaps is probably a much more interesting affair. You know, I think I would open. I mean, I would not only would I open the East hand 2-0, but I would, you know, if partner made a quantitative invite, even I would accept.
Yeah. Oh, for sure, 100%.
And I think, you know, this goes with for a lot of these hands that, you know, in modern style are now opening, you know, a no trump with a 6-card minor, or two no trump with a 6-card minor, and so on. Which is that when partner actually makes a quantitative bid, even if you were a high card point light or so, often either you're going to make 6 or you're going down in 4 if partner doesn't have a fit and has the wrong hand.
Yeah.
And so, you know, you often choose to accept because those extra couple tricks really do make a world of difference, more than, you know, a high card point or 2 when it comes to playing strength.
Yes, for sure.
Valuation. So, you know, 5 and 6 card suits, even if you did sort of upgrade into the, you know, whatever no trump bid, I think you often wind up wanting to accept the quantitative bid or accept the invite and so on, because, you know, so often they make such a huge difference in terms of play.
Yes, I couldn't agree more. There was a hand 2 days ago where they opened playing 15 to 17 O trump. They opened one though with 13 and the ace queen jack 10 6 of diamonds, and we were discussing exactly what you're saying, almost word for word, Adam. At the other table, they were playing 12 to 14 no trump, and they chose to rebid 1 no to treat that as a strong no trump. So,
yeah, and I think I remember I think I was watching during that.
yeah.
That was, yes. Yes.
So in other words,
it really is such an important
so
point.
this is plagiarism, that's what we're saying. Okay. Yeah, you should ask yourself, I mean, making Adam's point even firmer, you should ask yourself, would you rather have a balanced 4-3-3-20 count, or even 21 count, or a hand with a 6-card, very good 6-card suit and aces on the outside? Which hand would you rather have? And I think we would all rather have this hand. And Adam made an interesting comment, which I sort of agree with. I might open this hand 2 clubs and rebid 2-0 and treat it as 21 to 22. Aces are just so huge. I mean, everything about the hand's great. A great 6-card suit, aces, and even the queen in one.
Yeah. The only small thing that I think might sway me not to do it is just the ace jack doubleton of hearts. If you move the jack of hearts into diamonds, I think I probably would.
Yeah, I agree with that also. Something else we've talked a lot about the last few days is having a lot of points if you short suits is a huge negative. And that's the ace in one. The jack of hearts is almost never a trick. I mean, it's a half a trick if partner has the queen, or if partner has the king third or longer, it's a half a trick. The ace jack 4th of diamonds is almost always worth a trick.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Next hand, we have a normal 1-no. This hand's gonna be steaming in 3-no.
Yeah, it seems like a very normal contract with around with 9 tricks to start, pretty much leading hearts towards dummy twice.
Yeah.
And they do still have to lead.
Jan's made two. Yeah, Jan's now made 2 great 6 club bids. One much more successful than the other, but both were just great winning bids.
Yes, absolutely.
He's not only a terrific player, I'm not trying to sound like I'm his press agent, but he's really one of the toughest opponents to play against because you never know what he has.
Yeah, no, which in and of itself is often very important, especially in these longer matches and things where you think you know what's going on, but sometimes you just don't.
Yeah.
And yeah, I he's a super nice guy, very good player, and very tough opponent. So yes.
Yeah, before COVID, we met as teammates in a regional, and it was football season, and he knew nothing. I taught him about American football. We always kid each other since then. So club leads.
So Declarer has a guess here, whether to play for
Yes.
West to have led from the 10 of clubs or the queen.
Right.
I think with the when they lead a low enough club here, it feels more likely that they've probably led from the queen. So she does in fact.
Especially being a minor, they're more apt to.
Yes, although on this auction,
much more apt to minor. Yeah.
So Declarer will have at least 9 tricks now, right? With 3 clubs, 5 diamonds, and at least 1 heart. She may, in fact.
I expect her to play a heart now.
Yes, exactly. Sort of while she still has entries and while she's still, able to have transportation for everything. Yeah. It's a good play.
And they're playing against I'm going to say a non-expert partnership, so it's much less likely that he's deduct the ace of hearts also as far as over tricks later.
Right, exactly. And I think she'll be able to pitch a heart and a spade from the dummy, where even if East has ducked the ace of hearts, she won't be necessarily in danger of not making her contract.
Well, they're not forced to cash diamonds right now. So otherwise, they're just going to cash out, I think.
Yep. Well, I think
a heart. I'd say a heart is. I would leave a heart down. I chance over tricks. I'm going to pay off if East has ducked the ace of hearts.
Well, even if they
especially given the trick 1 where they let a club and they would be leading a club through.
Right. I mean, here now we've seen.
Well, now they pitch 2 hearts, so now it's going to be completely safe.
But even still, right? Even if you pitch a spade on this diamond, right, and they hadn't pitched any hearts, it's still actually safe to play a heart to the queen, because if that loses, then in order for West to be able to get on lead and lead a spade through you, that means that hearts had to be 3-3.
Yeah.
And when they lead a spade, you can safely duck from the dummy, and at worst, you lose 2 hearts and 2 spades, and you still have.
We're going to see the queen of spades shift now for sure.
Very likely. I mean, this is a sort of classic position where you can imagine sometimes Declarer has 10-3. I don't know if that's even theoretically possible based on the cards that we've seen, but as a just general position, right? If Declarer has 10-3 and you have queen 9-3, the way for you to break this suit is to lead the queen and make Declarer guess. If you have queen jack, they're supposed to play low, and now it's frozen, so where you can't lead it again without giving them a trick. But when you have queen 9-3, as you do, you win the queen and you play another one to partner as ace jack, and have actually blown open the suit, and where you wouldn't have if you played anything else.
Well, in this case, they don't declare as the ace king of clubs a good diamond and two good hearts. They decided that Negri probably would have cashed out. Negri was forced to guess the spade because she couldn't afford to fly with the king and have a run the spades. So she was forced to guess it right. He was forced to play one. She was forced to play it, guess it.
Right. I am actually surprised that he didn't lead the queen, because that was really his only shot here. But
yeah,
the result today would be the same either way.
Yes. 2 imps and Rosenthal, 4 imps. So, well, this has been one of the more exciting sets we've seen in a while. I feel fortunate to have gotten to watch it.
Yes, yes. There's actually very few dull hands, and been a lot of excitement, which is always welcome. And
we have another
the most
more
normal
normal
Trump opener that we've seen yet.
Yeah, so this is not only within range, but there's no shortness.
Right. Which, I suppose is
I've played quite a few hands against them. I've actually never seen them open a no trump with a void or 2 singletons against me.
well, that's probably a good thing, but there's still time. And here East, so this actually, the East hand is a very good example of something that I think a lot of non-expert players often miss, which is that rather than transferring to spades and bidding 2-no trump to invite, you can actually bid stamen and follow it with 2 spades to show a sort of unbalanced invitational hand with 5 spades. And that keeps your partnership lower when partners rejecting, and it means that a lot of times when you have 5 or even a bad 6 card suit, you really want partner to be raising, or you really only want to get to game when partner has 3 or 4 cards supporting. And so here, rather than her opting to transfer and bid 2-no as she did, she might have bid 2 stamen followed by 2 spades, which traditionally is sort of an undefined bid in standard bidding, and it has now it's a fairly common expert standard agreement to play that this is a 5 card or bad 6 card suit, and invitational values, usually an unbalanced hand.
Yeah, I would say this would be on the heavy side for that. You might do that with king 5th of spades, king jack 4th of diamonds, but yeah, definitely not vulnerable. I like the treatment. I agree. This might be a little heavy for that, but Andrew did well. It looks like the only lead that really would let him make it was the 10 of diamonds, which he avoided.
Right. Well, that's yeah, I agree with you. It's definitely a little on the strong side.
I agree with what I would do the same thing you did, Adam. So once in a while you have a little extra to bid your hand well. I agree with you.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would do exactly what you just suggested for sure.
Yes. Yes. And to your point here, Andrew does have a tough opening lead, but a club partner couldn't double 2 hearts. And king 10 third looks really dangerous to lead from.
Yeah, you would never lead a heart. It's between the club and the diamond. But
well, and for a diamond, you're looking at what looks to be probably natural trump tricks. So if the diamond lead does blow something, you're less likely to get it back by being able to ruff later.
Yes, I agree.
So I like a club lead. I think it's.
I do too. And also, we were talking about points and short suits. A reason I really agree with what Adam had to say is we have jacks, which is really the worst. It's stiff jack and jack third probably don't carry a lot of weight. So I really couldn't agree with Adam more about the hand evaluation. I would downgrade. I rarely don't. The only good thing about your hand is you do have some points in your long suits and you own the 10 of spades. But I agree, these are good hands to be able to stop low on. But so it looks like he's going to make down 1 probably. So it's,
Yeah, I mean, here you kind of want to get to dummy to lead a spade towards your queen. Now having taken this rough, but it's not clear that you can really afford to do that here.
I'm trying to look at this hand to see if there was if he had started ducking the club and roughing hearts.
Yeah, I don't think he can quite do it because North only has 2 diamonds. And
Let's take a look how many. So there's 4.
maybe double dummy. There's a
I'm
world
not
where,
sure. So
but no. So I cheat a little and check double dummy in the other room on a club lead at least. It is always down 1. You know, but yes, a heart or a diamond theoretically do risk allowing declarer to make hearts because they can actually rough out the heart suit now and establish the 9 of hearts, and diamonds because it does blow up this diamond suit. But here we see, you know, of course, without the benefit of seeing all 52 cards, declares trying to figure out how do they go about taking finesses in both pointy suits, and you know, in what order do they plan to do that? So here we see them. You know, he's probably planning to do exactly this. You know, worried about a potential, worried about clubs being 5-3. Where
well, he's
if
off
he
to a
can-
good start here, but now he's
Yeah.
going to be a little disappointed.
definitely, but now, you know, now he can see that he has at least 3 losers, right? You know, 2 spades, and the one already that he's in the club that he's already lost. So he needs to pick up diamonds for no losers, and so the defense needs to be careful not to allow him to do that, and also needs to be careful not to, I guess, put pressure on South here, who, you know, is going to need to be able to pitch hearts in order to guard diamonds.
Well, he's going to be. Yeah, we can see how we can easily go down 1, but he's going to try to make it, obviously. He could score 2 diamonds, a heart, a rough, and a spade, but he's obviously going to try to make it.
Right. Well, I mean, he's gotten the bad news about the spade suit now, so it seems likely that, you know, he knows North has 2 more spades. He may even think, oh, maybe they have diamond shortness, but I don't think there's really any. I don't think there's a strong enough argument for him to backwards finesse in diamonds or something. And so
I expect him to go down 2. Seems like he doesn't need 3 diamonds to make it, but he does need the diamond finesse because he can always score a 6 of spades on facade.
exactly.
He needs 3 diamond tricks, not 4.
Right. I mean, it feels pretty natural just to play a diamond to the ace and take a diamond finesse here. And once that loses, you know, that'll be 4 losers for him for sure, and just a question of whether or not he can get out for down 1 at that point, which doesn't seem likely.
I think he knows. He's pretty sure that. I think it's possible he could lead the jack of diamonds. I think it's unlikely, but I think it's possible he'll lead the jack of diamonds. He knows they have 4 clubs and 4 spades.
Right. Well, and so yeah, I mean, he knows North has 5 red suit cards. He knows that had South had maybe king, queen, 5th of hearts, they might have doubled 2 hearts.
He's going to make it. He's going to do it.
Wow. And perhaps he's also swayed by
No, he played for Queen and one. Okay.
exactly. So here he played for Queen and one, where they would be
This
forced.
way he's getting out -50 though.
Yes, yes. No, I mean it's an interesting choice, because had North had Queen and one on the third diamond, they would be forced to pitch a heart,
Right.
and then he
Now
would
he play hard, rough,
the
hard,
ace
yeah.
and rough in the dummy, scoring his six of spades and condensing his trump loser with a red suit loser.
Yeah.
It was a very thoughtful line of play for sure.
It was. So he had to guess whether they had 10 and one or Queen and one. Yes.
Yes. Well, I think he actually can't make it when it's 10.
Yeah, he needed Queen and one. You're completely right.
He
Yeah.
needs the tempo to where North has to pitch in order, like he needs to be able to take that third diamond trick. So
yeah, he had to either play for
only
Queen.
legitimate shot.
Well, he did have a shot at he would have had to lead the jack off the dummy the first time to play for 10 on one. Now it goes Jack Queen.
No,
I guess that would even do.
it's still not enough.
As long as they cover the jack of diamonds from the Queen 8/4.
Right, exactly. As long as they do, it's still not enough.
Yeah.
So he took his only legitimate chance, which was Queen and one.
Yeah, he did well.
And here we see North has just quite not enough, especially at this vulnerability, perhaps, to be getting in there with two hearts.
Which was a good thing, because the world would have come to an end.
Yes. Although
except the other hand has a very good hand, so he probably could escape.
Yeah. Well, so I mean, after West bids two diamonds over this one, North may be tempted again to get in there. And in fact, that's what happened in the other room, is that Sandra Rimstedt did bid two hearts on this exact same auction, and she bought it there, mercifully on double,
Wow.
and is currently in the process of drifting about two down. So. I think that if you're going to, I mean, this is sort of maybe not a great hand to illustrate this principle on, but if you're going to get bid and get in there, you kind of want to do it right away, because it's a lot harder for them to penalize you when you do it right away versus, on this exact auction. In fact, I'm surprised that Amber didn't choose to double with ease. Because clearly when they're getting in there and weren't strong enough to bid the first time, and you have the East hand, that they're wrong. But here the play of two diamonds will be.
Looks like they're going to do quite well with two diamonds. So.
Yeah.
Back to the club, they're going to win. They're going to lose two heart. I mean, one heart, two clubs. It looks like a rule in handling. So.
Yeah, I have to say I don't like the club lead from Andrew's hand. I think this is an auction where you close your eyes and lead a trump, and then you find the trumps in your hand and you put one on the table, and then you look at the rest of your 13 cards.
Couldn't agree more, Adam.
Yeah. No. Well, so here, now this is going to cost them a tempo, where Declare has lots of things that they would like to rough. And
we can take a look at this hand with a trump lead. They're
Yeah.
going to win it and probably play their Queen of Hearts, I would think, or Ace of Spades, rough of Spades, and lead a heart. I would guess they would lead a heart first, and now another trump, and then the King of Hearts gets roughed away. And makes it.
Yeah, I mean,
Huge swing.
Declare might only come to what, like 4 diamond tricks of the Ace of Spades and
one rough in the club. Yes,
Yeah.
I think they would go down with a trump lead.
Yeah. But here now, in this spot, it's a lot more touch and go.
VUGRAPH's going to shift to a trump almost for sure.
Probably. I mean, when you win the Ace of Clubs, it's like, okay, why did partner not lead a trump? Well, either they're void or there's something else weird going on here. But
she let a trump back.
She can see that partner has must have all of the hearts locked up, and she has all of the spades. So,
So this will be interesting if he just plays conservative. He let a heart, which was not his best. I think another trump back to being in trouble. Looked like he played ace of spades, rough of spade, a club to the king, and rough of spade. He was that gave him 6-9, gave him 8 sure tricks.
Yeah,
right.
yeah. No, that so this line feels a little bit on the greedier side, perhaps, but
Yeah.
um,
But
but
his
his
line of play is only doesn't work when hearts are 6-1. The other one was like a lock.
Well, so the playing a spade to the ace, roughing a spade, club to the king, rough a spade. There's some world where maybe clubs are 5-1, and
Yeah.
there's also some world where, and even then,
Yeah.
or even if you survive that, you still actually may not have enough. You may still be a trick short if one of your diamonds becomes a loser, right? If North had the queen of diamonds, maybe you wouldn't be able to take
Maybe
all diamond tricks confidently.
that also probably requires spades to be 5-2 or something. I mean, you have a lot of outcards.
Yeah.
But he's going to be pretty unlucky now. I think he's going to obviously play ace of spade.
Yes. And then the king of hearts will get roughed.
Yeah.
And, I think will have a hard time coming to 8 tricks at that point. But there is still.
No, I think he's going to survive. Look what happens. King of hearts gets roughed and over roughed. He draws the last trump and plays king of the club.
King of the club, yeah, you're right.
Now he can down to nothing but hearts. So.
Right. Well, and actually, he can kind of work it out, right? Because he knows that North has 2 diamonds, and 6 hearts, and either they have queen jack doubles and of clubs, where then he just is claiming anyway, or if they have 3 clubs, then they started with only 2 spades.
Yeah, he's going to end up making it.
Yeah, you're right. Because he'll get all of this information when the king of hearts is roughed. And it might take him a second to do that, but yeah.
Well, I think he's definitely going to rough a spade because the king of hearts lives. He just has.
Right, he just has winners. Yeah. Well, so there's a question in the chat about whether double from east of 2 hearts, let's say, had North bid it, would be takeout or penalty. And I think this is one of those auctions where rather than where the most common thing that you actually want to do is penalize them, and where you can bid 2 no, you can bid 2 spades. You actually haven't really lost much to where you have hands where you want to double just to show values or take out. So double, I think, of 2 hearts as east should be penalty. Once you've bid a no trump, because you've limited your hand a lot, and you're sitting over them.
Oh, he cashed the king of clubs before he's going about his business. So there's also an easy answer to the same question: there's no such thing as a 1 suit takeout double. They've bid spades and diamonds, and the opponents have bid hearts. So there's no such thing as a double asking your partner to bid clubs. So I think when both people have limited their hands, it's the same thing. A question I've been asked a lot during lectures: if the bidding, for instance, goes minor, a major, 1 no, and they balance, and the opener, the hand that's passed 1 no already, they can't now have found other cards they want partner to bid, so it's also a penalty double in that situation. For instance, Adam and I were playing together, and I opened a diamond, he bid a heart, I bid a no trump, and it went pass, and he passed, and they now balance with the suit and went pass back to Adam. I would expect his double, meaning he had points and cards in their suit. He would be asking me to find a new suit to bid.
Yes.
So when both hands have limited and you've stopped somewhere, or when there's only 1 suit left, the doubles, even in modern times, are penalty.
Right, and we see actually he's come home with an over trick, because as we were talking about, he
basically cashed the king of clubs a trick a little bit earlier, maybe thinking about this ending earlier on, and once he found out that hearts were 6-1, had no trouble exiting a club to north, and got to score his 2 10s for tricks 12 and 13.
Yeah, very well done.
Yes.
Okay, so north-south bid the 5 clubs of his hand. Which looks like the 10 of hearts is offside, the spades offside. So they have 13 opposite 10. 3-0 doesn't make, so it does not look like an abnormal result.
Wow, I have to say I'm surprised to see East passing over a club. I think this is sort of a classic hand where you want to get in there early.
Yeah, you have a good suit.
Right, you really want partner to lead diamonds against no trump if possible.
Well, that part
she may be rewarded for that, in that the opponents will probably get to 3-0 now, and she'll be able to lead a diamond and rattle off 5 diamond tricks right away.
Yeah,
they have to be.
The other table they were 5 clubs down too, so you're losing it. Yeah. But yeah, it looks like.
Well, so I think 3-0, depending on how they, even if North is playing 3-0, right? Imagine you lead a 4th best diamond, the 5, 9, ace low. West plays the 10 of diamonds, and there's actually a real risk that the diamond suit gets blocked.
I project that it will get blocked. I think you're very astute, Adam. That's interesting. Well, now that they've been 2 spades, and theoretically club, I think they're going to end up in clubs and be a push. But 3-0.
I don't know. If you told me that looking at all 4 hands that I could play 3-0 North, I think I would want to.
Yes, I agree with that. I was going to say the same thing. I mean, you really need a lot of racing luck. They don't always have a diamond. They don't always have a diamond.
Yeah. Hell, even 3-0 South is not all that terrible. But
it works with either when either hand is both diamond honors, or when they don't have a diamond, they make 3-0. So. Yeah.
I mean, I just have 9 winners unless they have 5 before me. So
I expect over 2 spades to be rebid 3 hearts, and they.
I mean, honest, but I could you really fault Andrew for wanting to play 3-0? He only has 3 clubs.
Yeah, no, I don't.
And he has a diamond stopper. I mean, partner doesn't have to have a singleton.
Yeah.
The
key play here is that for him to cover the 10 of diamonds.
Yeah.
If he ducks it, they can't fail.
Right.
This is sort of a common theme, though, where you don't expect anyone to have the ace king of diamonds, but you have a better chance by blocking the suit. She did bid 3 hearts. As Adam said, I expect Andrew to bid 3-0 now. Because he did bid 2 spades, so not 2 diamonds. So his 2 spade bid. One of my mentors was Paul Soloway, and he believed over inverted, you just bid 2-0 on all balanced hands. You don't tell them anything. And when you have 2 little or 3 little ups and 2 little, you're not going to make 5 of a minor very often.
Yeah, okay. I actually find it hard to disagree with that. I think it's
hard to disagree with anything Paul Soloway said. So.
Yeah, exactly. And I think in these inverted minor auctions are somewhere that really there hasn't been a lot of sort of advancement or system added in a long time. Standard is still sort of, you're bidding stoppers and fishing for 3-0 and so on. But I think this is actually one of those auctions that does benefit from having a little bit of system or having a little bit of something fancier. So Migri, having heard her partner not bid 2 diamonds originally, I guess, is worried about the diamond suit anyway, and chose to play 5 clubs rather than 3-0.
Okay, so this is going to be a push.
Yeah, I don't particularly like five clubs though, if I'm honest. I think, very often we just have seven clubs of heart and hopefully one pointy suit trick.
It's all a matter of what two spades meant in their partnership. So.
Yeah, yeah. And but I mean, you could imagine partner could have had the jack of diamonds as well, for example. And now five clubs is still similarly doomed, whereas 3-0 is just cold. Like,
So now it's a matter of what we shift to. The spade shift. If you're in the ducket, I'm trying to see if there's any double squeeze possibilities here.
right. I don't think so. Like, because
Yeah, I think him having the discard. I'm not so sure. Let's see.
I guess if you duck it and they don't, and then they maybe have to shift to a heart to break it up. Is that
No, I
possible?
think a spade back breaks it up because they can't end up in the right hand because they have to run the club. That kills the declarer's hand.
You're right. A heart may also kill it, though, right? Because
Yes, you have to. Yeah,
right. But Andrew, understandably, is thinking about what's the easiest route to get to 11 tricks here, or to not have.
yeah, spade. Yeah, the spade
The
finesse.
easiest is simply that the spade
The
finesse.
normal play.
You can end play them in hearts, or
Yeah.
take two heart finesses.
Okay, so can we, maybe we can switch to the other table. This one's got fairly dull from here. That's going to be a push. So it's got a club. There's a hand and
This is sort of I guess a bit of a modern style where you don't really quite have enough to bid two hearts, in the sense that you're 6-3-2-2. You have sort of very marginal values. You don't really want to bid two hearts.
no, I think
And
one heart
rather-
seems pretty normal. Now here's the new concept, which I mean, I've been playing a lot of, they play double here, shows either 4 or 5 spades.
Mhm.
They play the cube, 2 heart cube, it would be 6 spades. And they play the 1 spade bid as a hand that denies spades. And it's usually a hand you want to compare. Very difficult hands you can have on this auction. Your partner opens a club and they overcall a heart. We have no heart stopper at 9 or 10 points and not enough to bid 2 diamonds. So we're forced to pass. But now we're able to bid 1 spade, saying we don't have spades. We probably don't have a heart stopper, but we want to compete somewhere.
Yep.
So the advantage of that is you get more auctions, and the disadvantage is you don't know how many spades your partner has. So I know people, some great players like Jeff Hampson always used to play this, for a lot of my other really great partners love to play this. So
Well, and here we see South actually had kind of a tough problem after 2 diamonds, which showed a good raise in hearts. South doesn't have a heart stopper, but has this 18-19 balanced hand. They were originally planning to bid 2-0, but now once the opponents have bid and raised hearts, their lack of heart stopper makes their hand kind of difficult, and so they chose to actually pass over 2 diamonds, which I'm not sure how I feel about. I don't hate it.
I don't think they had any choice, actually,
Yeah.
because double would be support.
Right, double would be support. 2-0 is probably some sort of good bad. And
Well, 2-0 would probably be
it was-
natural, but would
wasn't,
show a heart
probably.
stop.
Right, and I don't know what 2 hearts necessarily would be, but then having heard it go 3 hearts back to them, now they wanted to.
Well, I seem to have had an accident. I mean, they were on their way to getting the 5 clubs, but they're defending 3 hearts double, which looks like they're going to probably get 100. They're going to guess the heart. So I think they must have a misunderstanding about what the double meant.
I'm actually
Lucky.
I'm not so certain about that. I think that even if they were on the same page, right? If you had the north hand, you knew your partner had 18-19 balanced without a heart stopper, you could be
Yeah.
forgiven for wanting to just defend 3 hearts double. And
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like doesn't look like you have a game. necessarily, right? I mean, even today, 5 clubs is a pretty fortunate make, with the queen 10 of clubs doubleton and some more things helpful.
We know one club, yeah, it's
But,
true. But there,
but
I
like,
think,
you
I
could-
think
you
the
could be
player's now
easily-
gonna be able to get out. Maybe they still have to go for 2, but they win the heart, if they win the king of hearts and play a spade to the king and duck a spade, I
yeah,
guess they're going 6.
well,
I think they're gonna take 8 tricks.
I don't know. It's kind of tough because you have to win the king of hearts here in order to avoid a heart loser, right?
Well, you're
But
gonna do that
same
because you
king of
want to
hearts is
start,
your entry
because you
event.
want to start spades from the dummy. Because you know,
Right.
declare, you're almost 100% Kevin has ace and 1 spade. They have a big hand. They didn't make a support double, so it's almost a sure thing that they have ace and 1 spade.
That's true, but the king of hearts is in fact your only dummy entry, right? So you're kind of being forced to get rid of your only dummy entry at trick 1, which is
Well, except you have the club, they have to give you either a club reference plate. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah. Yeah, it's
it's
not so simple. You're 100% right.
yeah, like they're going to have a hard time not going down.
Yeah, it looks like you're right. It does look like Queen of Hearts was a terrific lead. It does look like 300.
Well, and it's not. I guess it's not surprising that the Queen of Hearts works out well because when your side has the balance of power, and that you don't have there's not a bunch of long suits that declare us threatening to be running of their own.
Yeah.
It's not that surprising that you want to prevent declarer from roughing anything, and you want to sort of get trumps going yourself because you have all the other suits locked up, kind of.
Yeah.
And today it sort of has this kind of cool effect where declarer is forced to win their only dummy entry at trick 1.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of other ways that leading trumps
I
on
agree.
these sorts of hands can win, and this is just one more of the many.
Yeah, I think that Sandra counted on the opponents to only have 9 hearts also. Because this hand Ambrose probably showed only 3 trumps, which he could have been 2 no's, a limit raise or something.
Yes.
And Sandra played the 9 of spades in suit preference for diamonds.
Mhm.
This was very well done. I mean, as you said, it's a lucky hand, but I'm just wondering if Kevin would have gone differently if he had a 6th club, if he would have done anything different.
I feel like he might have been able. He would have had a
Matter of fact, they might go for more now with a heart back. He might try to make the hand by playing the ace of hearts. With that, I guess that's for down 1 also. So, yeah, it looks like he's going down 2. This was very well done by Norcell. The spade blockage and the heart.
Yeah, so he did get hearts right, but that's only a small consolation because he's not able to get to dummy to enjoy anything here. So he'll just have to lose his 5 minor suit cards.
Let's take a look at the other table, see what they're doing. This looks like 300.
Well, so this is actually a board we haven't seen yet. So it was funny when we switched over. We switched over when they were starting on board 15, and so we actually have never seen board 14 before. And so the other they played in 3-0 and went 1 down.
Yes.
Personally, I would the south hand I would evaluate to probably being a 1-0 trump opener. Again, queen and a diamond, positional values, 6-card suit, headed by 2 honors. Like,
Are they 14 to 16 out?
I think Migri and Andrew are like good 14 to 17 or 15, 17.
Okay. Yeah, I agree. Unless they play 15 to 17, no trump, it looks like
yeah.
13.
Still, I would be very tempted. And here it's a huge winner, right? Because West would be put on lead, and it's not clear that they would find a heart lead. Whereas, you know, I mean, this is a bit lucky, of course, but you know, it's not clear that they would find a heart lead. Whereas, you know, with East being on lead, they have no trouble doing so. And it's a little easier to untangle the suit also, right? Where
Yeah, no trump, 2 clubs, 2 diamonds, 3 no.
good luck, folks.
Would
You know,
not-
you lead
Would
from
have been much tougher, right?
I'm third. You know, one of them I make it. One of them I'm still maybe down. But even if you lead a heart, partner has to figure out to play low from queen fifth.
Yeah,
Trivial.
yes.
That's like it's not an easy defense. And
No.
you know,
As a matter
here,
of fact,
it's,
it's the same as very similar to a previous hand we were talking about, where they played 5 clubs for a push, the 3 no. Wasn't clear they weren't going to block the suit. Yeah.
yeah.
But this is sort of random which hand had the 5, but it is better, obviously, to play it from this side with the heart holding.
Right. Like it's not surprising that it's better, but the reason that it works out to be better, or the fact that, you know, East has 5 hearts instead of West, those are just random, right? Yeah, you could imagine a world where West has 5 hearts, and you say, "Wow, you know, I really wish we had right-sided it and North was able to play it." But the thing is that if West had 5 hearts, they might have bid them over a club.
Yeah.
And again,
true.
you know, you may in fact, you know, wind up losing any benefit that you would get simply because they would have already been able to get in that lead director.
Yeah.
But here they just have the same 5 winners, so it looks like that, you know, this should be over very soon. And then we'll get to see what they did on board 15, which is quite an interesting hand, as we were watching in the other room.
This has been very interesting, Adam. We've seen 2 and 3 people never upgrading hands. We would always upgrade, and we have 1 person upgrading every hand.
Yes, it has been an interesting set for sort of hand evaluation style, and it sounds like we're very much similar style, Mike, in terms of you know, how we would evaluate some of these things. But
yeah, since we're about the same age, it's pretty normal.
right, exactly. And yeah, no, you can be added to the X Junior club. Recently X Junior myself, so
Yeah, you had quite a great career.
yeah, thanks. I took about 4 or 5 years off, and almost.
I remember. Yeah, I remember meeting you when you were extremely young, and yeah, I took note of how personable. I mean, you were always a enjoyable person to be around.
Thank you. Likewise. So,
Always a tough opponent.
yes.
Yes, I've talked about, you know, the difference in the young players, and even some of the younger guys who are no longer pups. The whole group, the Kradiak and Vince group. I remember coming up, being of his age, and Bridge was a lot different then, and I was like, all of us young pros in those days were cocky and maybe not as polite at the time. But now this next generations, you know, the nicest people, always kind and considerate.
Yeah, no, it's a
They grew up. They grew up way before I did. So
yes.
Okay, here's the hand that we saw, the 3 hearts double.
All right, so
Notice that all the wild swings, the match is still only 5 imps.
Yeah,
There've been a lot of missed opportunities by both sides, but it's tough. Bridge is tough. We get to see all the hands, so we can always look good. So it's kind of club 2 hearts pass, and I expect Joan. Well, she's a little bit afraid to raise, I think, in this partnership, but it seems like a normal 3 heart bid.
You kind of want to raise here.
If she passes,
passes,
Migri's going to bid 2 no for sure. But over 3 hearts, she's got a tough bid.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think you really often want to raise here just so that partner knows to lead a heart.
Yeah, that was,
because if you don't raise, then partner's probably not going to play you for king third of hearts.
so Migri's almost 100% of the 2 no here now, thinking they're
Right. If they couldn't raise hearts, then hopefully we have at least a slow heart stopper.
And what do you think about, I mean, it's more modern. I know Andrew's a little more conservative, but she did bid 2-no, but over club 2 hearts with 5 spades, and you know, I'd be a little tempted to be, even though it's a little light, to make a negative double there.
I would be tempted a little bit. The problem is that partner just so often has the like minimum balanced hand, and when we're red,
Yeah, I agree with all
it
of
feels
that.
like partner is just going to bid 2-no so often, where
Uh,
you're going to pass and feel a little sick to your stomach. I mean, maybe you pull it to 3 clubs, but
Sure.
if you had a 4th club, or if you had really, I guess, 4th club, or just a little
Well, he
bit.
did lead a heart. I thought there was.
Okay. Well, so Bigre will be, I guess, disappointed
We're gonna have a new
to
leader
find
in the
out
match
that
now.
despite partner having stiff queen, her hearts will not be a stopper. And so
Yes, we're gonna have a new leader in the match here. 300 and 200's 11 imps.
yes, and it was a well-deserved 300 in the other room for sure.
It really was. Yeah.
Defended well, bid well, and defended well.
I think Joan actually won a lot of imps by passing 2 hearts on this hand also.
She did. Today, keeping that support concealed actually worked out great for her. And partner led a heart anyway, and now she gets to defend 3-no instead of potentially buying it in 3 hearts double or something. So, well done by Joan in this case to avoid that happening. And Jen, of course, is trying to figure out, hey, wait a minute, did Declare really bid 2-no with Jack 9 third, or do they have 4 where cashing the ace of hearts is actually going to give Declarer a trick?
Yeah, but still, we're looking at Jack third of clubs, and he has 3 small. I'd say he's playing the ace of hearts for sure.
I agree. I mean, and not only that, but even if Declarer does have the Jack 4th of hearts, he still has a spade entry potentially, where he might be able to get in later. So it feels like he really does want to be catching the ace of hearts, because on the off chance that Declarer does have the Jack 9 third, as she does, he wants to make sure that they get their 6 winners now. And so he does.
Yeah, he was always doing that.
Yes.
Okay, so it's 11 imps.
He paused first, and some respect of maybe you did have Jack 9 4th, Meeker. But
Well, this was an exciting set.
it was.
A lot of imps.
Yeah, well, I guess we'll finish with almost 100 imps having changed hands, but the actual margin will still be quite small. So should be a lot more good bridge late today, and then I guess this is a full 2-day match, so we'll have
It is.
2.
Before we go off the air, can we show the scores? There's a represent going on, so we might take a look and see who's doing well. If we can get to that.
Yes, we'll check that out in a second. And
there's 4 more teams. There's 4 teams playing over 2 days going on right now to see who gets back in.
yes, exactly. So it's a double, since it is double elimination. And you can actually, Cynthia, on the upper
Okay, so we have
side, there's like the select segment thing that actually works as well to switch around. It took me, I think, 5 days of watching on here. I still actually am hopeless at navigating around, but you've done far better job today.
A lot of imps stored here also.
Yeah. And yes, so we see a lot of imps changing hands in all of the matches, but not super large margins yet. So
wow. Are they all playing the same boards? Do we know?
Yes, they all.
Okay,
are.
so so the match we watched, they exchanged 90, and they were 82 and 107. So
yes, exactly. So
Well,
Very-
there's some
it's
pretty
been-
wild players going on in the other matches also. So
Yes.
very. We
And
like to see wild
there's-
players.
Yeah, it's not surprising that these are pretty swingy hands to begin with, and then like one of the things about the mixed event in particular is that you have a lot of partnerships that are on the newer side, and
Yes.
are, less experienced, let's say, playing together.
Yes.
So you have some of these auctions that are that it would be challenging for even very good established partnerships. And here you have a bunch of individually very strong players who are playing with each other and trying to figure out or
Yes.
trying to bid out these hands that
Yeah, I definitely agree.
like, so it's interesting because it definitely there is actually quite an advantage to being an established partnership in an event like this, where if you if you actually have that depth of agreements and comfort playing with each other. I mean, like even I guess just having those agreements and knowing sort of what's going on in some of these auctions can be a pretty big advantage.
Definitely.
You know,
Yeah, that's a very good point. Well, well, thank you, Adam. I enjoyed spending the morning with you. Cynthia, thank you so much for the great job you do.
yes,
We,
thanks, Mike.
we obviously,
And thanks to
are-
all the viewers for tuning in.
I'm computer challenged, so I obviously could not do any of this. So thank you so much, and everyone enjoy it. I will be back tomorrow. So
Yes, I will as well. I think segment 4 tomorrow for me, and I think you're earlier in the morning. So,
Right.
so
okay, well, everyone have a great day and enjoy. Thank
yes,
you.
definitely. Thanks, Mike, and thanks, Cynthia. We'll see you all soon.